Hi guys, in this video I want to talk to you a little bit about something called Toastmasters, which is a public speaking group, and it's something that I joined and it's really helped me to boost my confidence. Generally, it's helped me improve my public speaking skills, and it's become a really fun hobby in its own right. It's a massive challenge. As you've probably seen in a lot of articles, most people's biggest fear is actually public speaking. And if you can address that, it really gives you a lot more confidence generally, socially and in other aspects of your life. So in this video, I want to show you, it's my first speech from Toastmasters, and it's also particularly relevant because it's the first time I ever spoke publicly about having social anxiety. So it was kind of difficult at first because obviously you're speaking in front of a group of new people and you're also talking about something which is very personal. You're admitting kind of vulnerability and it's coming from the heart. So check out this video, which is my first speech, as I said, from Toastmasters, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks very much for that introduction, Sheila. Thank you, Michael. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. I stared into the mirror of my tiny bathroom. The face that peered back at me was pasty and haggard, with dark circles around the eyes from another weekend of too much cigarettes, too much alcohol, and too many late nights. I was 32 years old, and I was living in a cramped apartment in Beijing with a Chinese housemate I didn't like. I was broke, and it was Monday morning, and I was trying to muster enough energy to drag myself to an entry-level job that I loathed, where I was underpaid and undervalued. How had I come to this? As I looked into the mirror that Monday morning, I decided things had to change. And change they did, drastically, beyond all recognition, in fact. Within 2 years, my life was radically transformed. When I was planning this speech, I thought about all the generic stuff I could tell you about myself, about how I lived in China and how I like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, how I speak Mandarin, how I'm interested in philosophy and psychology. But I thought none of that would be as informative as if I told you about my journey from Stroud, where I grew up and now live, to the stage here in Gloucester tonight. A journey of just 10 miles, but which has taken me some 30 years and halfway around the world. After my epiphany in the bathroom on that Monday morning, the first thing I did was to get a personal trainer to get myself in shape physically. I started to work out with him 3 times a week and then 5. And when I did, I found that something magical happened. After working out, I found I no longer craved junk food. I took pride in my appearance, in my body. I was more conscious of my health, and I started to eat healthily. I started to drink more water, and I even quit smoking. And because I'd worked out and was tired, I would sleep early and wake up early, refreshed the next day. I had more enthusiasm, more energy, more focus. And these positive changes started to cascade over into other areas of my life. I did a kind of audit of myself and my life and looked at other areas I was dissatisfied with. I started to improve my relationships, my finances. I started an online business on the side, which very quickly flourished to over 7 figures in revenue in just over a year and is now my full-time occupation. But more importantly than any of that, I decided to tackle an issue which had plagued me for much of my life, and something which I felt had only really allowed me to live half of a life, and that was social anxiety. You see, as a kid, situations that would be mildly nerve-wracking for other kids would put me in a state of terror and bring out symptoms of real physical illness. As a teenager, I spent my whole time saying no to invitations which I wish I could have said hell yes to. And then I would sit at home thinking about what a great time the people were having and how I wish I could have let myself go there. As a teenager and young adult, I would scurry down to the supermarket late at night to avoid people. I would use little back alleys so that I wouldn't bump into people I knew when walking around town. When you have social anxiety, it's really amazing how creative your brain can be and how ingenious you can be at avoiding other people. So when I got to Beijing, I decided at this point that enough was enough and I was going to take action. I joined my local Toastmasters as I had heard this was the place to improve your public speaking and your confidence in general. So I went to a bunch of meetings there, I had a great time, and then I moved back to the UK, and shortly thereafter I joined Gloucester Speakers Club. And that's how I found myself here on this stage tonight. So my experience of social anxiety and my journey of personal development as a whole has taught me something very important. From my outward appearance, there's nothing to suggest the struggles that I've had with social anxiety in the past. When people see me, they see my short hair, they see my tattoos, they see that I'm reasonably in shape, and they often ask me if I'm in the armed services. There's nothing to suggest the problems that I've had. Some people even say I look like a bit of a thug or a bit of a chav. So this made me realise that from these outward appearances, we can often never know the problems that people may be facing in their lives. But you can be fairly sure that the person sitting next to you on the bus or the person in front of you in the supermarket queue is dealing with one problem of their own in their life. And this brings me to a quote and a point which I'd like to close on. And it's from the author, Wendy Ma. And the quote is, "Be gentle, for everyone you meet is fighting a struggle you know nothing about." So I really appreciate this opportunity for me to share this with you. I hope from this speech you will know me better. And I really look forward to all of us working here at Toastmasters to improve our public speaking and to continue on our journey of personal development together. So thanks very much.